privilege to introduce our guest speaker today, Owen Carlson. He actually was saying at the table that it's almost 2 years to the day since he presented to us the last time. So it's great to have him back to give us an update. Owen is the Executive Director and co-founder of First Steps Wellness Center, a nonprofit that now has 2 locations, Regina and Vancouver, and within a year will have 2 more, Edmonton and Sherbrooke. Before opening First Steps, Owen worked for Prairie North Health Region in North Battleford, where he was the Chronic Disease Management Facilitator. During his time with Prairie North, Owen worked with the Health Quality Council of Saskatchewan as part of a team that was improving care and treatment for people across the province who had diabetes and coronary artery disease. Owen's work led him to obtain numerous certifications in quality improvement, which Owen was able to use to improve patient care and reduce wait times in healthcare and private companies. After this, Owen and Chris Senko opened First Steps Wellness Center in Regina, which has become very successful in changing the quality of life for many people affected by a disability. Owen's focus is on improving the lives of people with disabilities through the First Steps program, and now his work has led him to become an advocate for social inclusion, to implement a Wheelchairs at Legislature Day, and speaking engagements to begin in March for Regina Public Schools. Fellow Rotarians and guests, please join me in welcoming back.
Shelley said it was 2 years ago. Spoke to you guys, and then I'm not sure who is still a part of our group. It was mostly the same Rotarians, but the Rotarians helped out First Steps by helping us purchase a biosway, which is a piece of equipment that we used. So I'm very honored to be back to speak to you guys, give you a rough update. So just to go through for the new people here, I'm just going to go through these first few slides quite quick because I actually want Sandy to do the majority of the speaking today about the program that we're starting now. So we opened in 2010. He was my best friend who sustained a spinal cord injury. He was on a scholarship out in Sherbrooke, Quebec, by lacrosse. And he got injured, spent some time in rehab, and realized that there was nothing after Wascana or after rehab to go to. So we're the first facility of our kind. Our target is to use exercise-based therapy to improve function, independence, and quality of life. We started with 3 clients, and we've since had clients come from right across Canada, the northern U.S., and even Jamaica. Not sure how that went. We expanded to a larger facility in 18 months to the day after we opened, so it was March of 2012. We've moved into the facility right now. It's 3,400 square feet compared to what was like a shed before. And we're now in the midst of signing the lease to the neighboring space right beside us for the CP program that Sandy will talk about. So what we believe in what we do, so above all else, First Steps is committed to improving our clients' quality of life. That can mean many different things. It can mean walking again, it can mean feeding oneself again. And for each person, it's different as to what that means. So we talk about a non-traditional versus a traditional approach. Traditional therapy, when you have someone who has a spinal cord injury, no different from a stroke or MS or whatever else. Being in a public health care system, we don't have the dollars, the tax dollars, to necessarily rehabilitate that person properly, but rather we work on strengthening what they do have. So if we take a paraplegic, mostly we're worried about helping them get stronger in their upper body so they can live with their disability. So it's a different approach. Our approach is to help that person regain movement that's lost. So that's a slightly different approach. I wouldn't say it's anything new. It's been something that's happening in Europe and across the world since the 70s. It's just something that's a little bit different for us to wrap our head around. So we do know that the nervous system can regain function, can achieve. The human body is incredibly smart at adapting, right? You take a look at an athlete. The athlete stops training for 6 months, they're probably no longer a professional athlete. The human body is incredible at adapting and will do that. If you sit in your wheelchair and do nothing, your body is very content with that. If you get out and move, your body has the potential to regain lost function. And I'm not going to say it all the time, because the answer's at the bottom there. What we do not believe, the spinal cord cannot heal. I just talked about that. We know it can. We know there's a thing called plasticity, neuroplasticity, central nervous system can heal. People with an SCI who are fragile need to be treated like glass. You can ask our clients about that. They want to be pushed. Once the injury site is stable, that's not the case anymore. They're just like you and I. They don't want to be treated any different. And the idea of false hope, Sammy's probably heard me rant on that forever, because what is false hope? How does that even make sense? It's sort of oxymoron if anything else, right? I parked at the casino parking lot. I hope that I don't get hit by a bus when I walk across the street. But nonetheless, we are criticized because we provide a false hope. I'm not sure how hope can be false. So, anyway, again, the three things that we're focused on is if we improve someone's function, doesn't matter what that is, we're going to improve their independence and their quality of life as well. The benefits of the program, it goes on and on. I talk about the benefits. So some of the ones listed up here are maybe the side effects of the First Steps program, right? Our goal is to improve function, and this is what happens when any one of the people in this room exercise, right? You're healthier in general. How do we achieve this? So I talked sort of about the overview now. Now, what is it that we're doing? I talked about this before. We use the intense exercise-based method. So typically, clients are out of their wheelchairs. We use different types of exercises. We go through the developmental movement patterns. So those are the stages that an infant would have went through when learning to walk. So first you learn to roll over, then you learn to sit up, go on your elbows and knees, hands and knees, kneeling, standing, walking, something like that. I might have missed one. So we believe that those are sort of innate features that a child goes through or an infant goes through. So we take the person back to those positions and we do a lot of exercises out of them to promote neural relearning. Active nervous system recruitment. Like I said before, if you sit and do nothing, your body is fine with that. If you force it to do something, so we provide a stimulus, we force the nerve to respond, we force the body to adapt just like an athlete would or just like anything else would. Unfortunately, with any neurological impairment, it takes a long time to recover. So we're not talking about 2 months or 3 months, we're talking about a year, maybe more. The other way that we achieve what we do is through community partners. So First Steps is a nonprofit. We are fee-for-service based. That's what keeps us going. When I was having a conversation with Ken when we were eating lunch, we talk about the people, the clients making progress. Nobody's going to come to the program or continue to come to the program if they have to pay for something that's not working. That's another measuring stick that I was going to bring down. So we rely on fundraising, grants, sponsorships, and that's something. First Steps, we've almost raised $500,000 when me and Sandy were going through the books over 5 years, which is quite impressive considering the first 2 years we didn't really know what we were doing. So we're just going to say it's in 3 years we raised that much money through different avenues. So whether it be government funding, whether it be whatever else. I listed some of the ones below: the Rotary Club here, Kinsman Affinity, Euromedical, Morris. The list is quite extensive. Those are some of our corporate sponsors. We've also had a lot of personal donations, which have helped us over the time as well. So without that, you don't really achieve what we've been able to. We still be in that 1,100 square foot. This is the Bible space, so it's a balance system. For those of you who aren't aware of what you guys did to help, we use it with people who have brain injuries, stroke, spinal cord injuries. It gets used with all of our clients, and it's a great tool. I think some of the Rotarians that were at the sort of unveiling of it got a chance to try it out. So
we were all imbalanced.
Yeah. You guys all been working with balance. But, so that's sort of a quick overview of what we did. I know we don't have a lot of time, but this is what's been happening. So on the left is what we've just sort of done probably since I spoke to you guys last. So we opened a second First Steps Wellness Center in Vancouver. In 2 weeks from today is their 1-year anniversary. We've started functional electrical stimulation cycling program for people who have MS. We are certified to train Canadian Paralympic athletes, and with the upcoming Olympics, we should start to see a spike in that. We won a University of Regina Award for Outstanding Fieldwork Agency. We work really closely with them, and it's a mutually beneficial relationship for sure. As Shelley mentioned, we're trying to reach out a little bit now to policymakers. I tend to get my hands in too many things, but you start to see things that sort of annoy you in the community when you work with people who have disabilities. So we feel like we're sometimes in a power to help affect change, so sometimes get our nose into places maybe where it shouldn't be. On the right is what's upcoming, the cerebral palsy program. I'm not going to talk too much, Sam's going to talk about that. Edmonton and Sherbrooke are on the rise. I brought a guest with me. She's here from Sherbrooke. She's spending 3 months in First Steps to kind of learn what we do with the goal of opening one there. And Sherbrooke has, as I mentioned right at the start, kind of a place in our heart because that's where Chris was in fact injured initially. Regina Public Schools, we're starting to do or arrange for us to do some talks in the schools that will sort of talk about social inclusion, but also about we've got some funding from staff support to train children CPC programs and better athletes out of our high school children, which is actually really interesting in Ontario now. People in wheelchairs are actually starting to get recruited by CIS schools, so the varsity athletics now start to recruit kids in grade 11 and 12 as they're now sanctioned by the CIS, which is where we're getting somewhere. Research at the U of R, so we've got a couple different projects happening, one with kinesiology and biology, and they're basically, I was talking to Ken again at lunch here, we know that our program helps people regain function. We know we do it through neuroplasticity, which is this nice fancy word for you. So what does that mean? That's where we kind of stop. How does it happen? So basically, we've seen that 31 of 34 people have made a functional improvement. Why is there a change happening in their body? So that's what the U of R biology department is looking at. Johnson Cheyenne Graduate School of Public Policy is also doing a project to basically justify, we've got SGI and WCP sort of on board to do 3 months of funding for our program for new clients, and the push is to try and get Sask Health to follow, because those are the people that fall through the gaps. So Johnson Cheyenne is sort of writing a paper on the benefits of what's coming up in the near future. I'm going to show you a really quick video of Rick Hansen's speech at our grand opening. It's just 3 minutes in Vancouver, because he probably explains our program better than I do.
What I wanted to do is I wanted to be able to, first of all, say congratulations, Sanjay, for your incredible leadership. This is an unbelievable step forward in being able to fill a gap and to remove a barrier that limits people with disabilities from achieving their full potential. Something that I've been trying to do with an incredible team across Canada and around the world, individual champions who really don't accept the status quo. They say we need to make change for people with disabilities, and we do it and we express it in our own way. And it takes people with passion and courage and determination to really see the possibilities and then to strive forward to do their part, one good turn at a time. That's how the big changes that Michelle has said have taken place here in British Columbia, and how we'll continue to achieve that vision of being the most accessible and inclusive place in the world. And I want to thank Michelle and Linda and of course everyone here for coming to support Sanjay and the team. You know, to take Bowen's dream that started in Saskatchewan and of course to continue to take it here in Richmond, British Columbia, my hometown, and to be able to actually see this leadership actually extend and challenge others to think about what they can do. And what does it really stand for? Well, you know, people with spinal cord injury, we have very unique and specialized requirements. And there's a lot of opportunity that exists for people to continue to maintain active rehabilitation, fitness and health, and even work on recovery and seeing opportunities for different levels of recovery. And while we have great work in hospitals and rehab centers, and there are general fitness communities that exist, there's still a requirement for intensive and specialized support that needs to happen in places like this. First Steps is the answer to an existing problem. It's the beginning of a longer-term dream where people can come and feel comfortable, they can feel supported, and they can customize their programs in order to have better health and wellness, better outcomes. Maybe even work on the ability to move their hands and to be able to actually have more function and be more independent. Perhaps even those that have left the rehabilitation center with more recovery, continuing to think about standing up and taking steps. And ultimately, who knows what's possible in the future with the advancements of spinal cord research and treatment. The fact that British Columbia is a world-class center of excellence, producing new discoveries through the Luskin Spinal Cord Center and connecting to places around the world. Just think of the possibilities in decades to come as new discoveries are translated and as new people have more function. Where are they going to come when they leave the rehabilitation center? Well, I know where they're going to come. They're going to come here to First Steps. First Steps has started. This is the beginning of something that will be a long-term legacy. And I just want to say a huge congratulations to you, Sanjay. And I just want to say thanks to everybody here for believing that your dreams come true. And it starts somewhere. It starts today, right here, right now. And I can't wait to be checking in, you know, as years go by to see how this dream, as all dreams do, morphs and evolves to become something that's just unbelievable and almost unimaginable at this stage in time. So thanks so much for having me, and congratulations, you guys, and enjoy this day. This is fantastic.
Rick Hansen sort of support